us to talk about how one can get out of the destructive behavior and lead your optimal life. Venus, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Some scary statistics, and look, everybody goes through their rough patches, etc., but there's also the chronic depression, and there's just sometimes the inability to get out of it, the hopelessness. How do you respond to that?
I think that we have lost control. We feel like we've lost control. Things happen in our lives. The economy is not good. We find that there are rises in prices and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, we feel like it's just a hopeless situation. And I wrote the book Step Up because I really want people to take back that control. And the easiest way to take back control is to get involved, to stop being the sitting duck and being affected by life, but start affecting life. And the minute we start affecting life, and we act proactively, in that moment, we start stepping up and we feel better about ourselves, we feel better about what's happening in the world, in our communities, and we feel like we're making a difference. And when we're making a difference, that's when we feel we've got more control in life.
But you need to clean up as well. I think the other says you must empty out the base and all the stuff that has been piling up. And you say step down from the old ladder before you can step up.
The first chapter of the book says step down. There are belief systems, there are emotional baggage that you need to say, I need to step down from this. And obviously there are techniques to do that. But you need to step down from that ladder that says, my life is going one way and that's down. Because it's not going down. We go through cycles in life, as we go through cycles in the economy. And you need to recognize that in your life and say, I need to step down from this destructive path I'm on. And I'm going to put myself on a path that is now constructive. And I want to make a difference in my own life. Because before you make a difference in your own life, you can't make a difference in other people's lives. So you have to clean up.
But it's a journey and not necessarily a destination. It's not an event that, I've arrived now, I can live my best life. But also it's having to acknowledge that you take responsibility for your life and your emotions and whatever else happens. But somebody else can say, I am taking control of my life by ending all of this hurt and pain and baggage.
You could. And it all depends what you believe in life. But we are here on a journey, and you've come to this place to learn certain things. If you ignore them right now, you all know they come again. You might be ignoring something today, and then a week later or a year later, it crops up again in your life. So by ending it all, we are eternal beings. There's actually no way that you can end it all. You might have the illusion that you can end it all, but we are eternal beings, so we are in the process of learning and growing. So if you can stop for one moment and say, hang on, I recognize who I am now. If I can learn this, I can move to myself to a higher conscious level. And that's what we want to do.
And it's not only privy to certain personality types. In the sense that you're outspoken and that kind of thing. Everybody has got the potential to live up to what their purpose is. It's just having to have the skill.
Of course.
To uncover that.
And you mentioned purpose. A lot of people ask me, how do I find out what my purpose is? I feel like I've got no purpose. Therefore I might end it all. Therefore I feel useless. And the question is wrong. The question is not what is my purpose in life. The question is, what do I do to create purpose in my life?
But my purpose, one could say, is to fend for my family, to make sure I put food on the table, and secondly, to sit behind the back on my desk and be the best employee so that I can get the paycheck. You're saying, is that adequate or enough for most people?
It should be. It should be a great starting point to say, where do I feel useful? So if I feel useful getting involved in the community, then get involved in the community. If I feel useful making a difference in my family life, get more involved. You can't sit on the couch saying, you know what, I need to be more purposeful or whatever. You need to involve. You've got to step up. It's a verb. You've got to get involved.
Circumstances sometimes, the external factors, your environment, your family background, and how you deal with that also determines how far you're going up.
Mark Twain said, circumstances reveals the man. It doesn't define the man. And yes, circumstances are going to come your way. I always tell people, that if you want more patience in life, how are you going to get more patience? Stuff is going to happen to you so you can learn patience. So the circumstance gives you the opportunity to learn. And if you can make that connection, that I get the opportunity through life, through the difficult parts of life, so that I can learn, that's when you grow. If you deny that, that's when you stagnate, you become fearful.
Yeah, Stephen Covey also says that you need to understand before you seek to be understood. Speaking to the sense that sometimes you're so self-centered, self-absorbed, and it's always about me, and the world is against me type thing, and we need to change that paradigm.
To quote another guy, John DeMartini, says that if you look after your own life, you're going to have an okay life. If you look after your family and your community and the country, you're going to have a great life. So the minute you step out of yourself, and you start affecting other people, you as a human being feel great. And that's just one of those laws of the universe. The minute we leave our own little nitty-gritty stuff behind and say, I can step out, we start feeling valuable, and the value comes to us. The biggest advantage goes to the giver, not to the receiver.
Yeah, but it's an entire package. It's about taking care of the body, the mind, the soul, because you also say in the book that obviously certain things will slow you down. What you consume, a case in point. In other words, the alcoholism, the drug abuse, and all of that impacts.
Reading the newspaper.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not telling the nation to stop reading the newspapers. But what do you consume? If you keep on consuming negative stuff, what do you do to counteract that? What positive stuff do you consume?
You need to detox.
Exactly. You need to get rid of that stuff. And for that, you need something positive.
Yeah. And if your mind will play tricks on you sometimes as well, you need to continuously remind yourself it's not all doom and gloom.
You'll see in the book I talk about mindfulness. And you're going to be mindful that you want to step up. You're going to be mindful that you want to lead a great life. And if you lose that mindfulness, you are on autopilot. Things happen to you and you keep on responding. You're not affecting. You are being affected and you respond. So when you're mindful and say, I want to have a great life. I want to step up, and I'm mindful of that. You will drive out here, and at the boom gate, you'll see the guy, and you'll say hi to him. And immediately, you're affecting that person, and you feel affected.
Okay, what's your most powerful mantra?
For right now, we're going to be okay. And we are going to be okay. Because we are more than a down cycle in the economy. We are more than our houses and our whatever it is. We are eternal beings. We're going to be fine. You're going to learn the lesson when we're down, and we will grow as human beings. This is a perfect opportunity for us to learn and to grow.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Thanks, Rinus. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Very inspiring. We're speaking to motivational speaker and author of Step Up, Password for Unlimited Growth, Rinus Leroux, on how to live our best life, political and social hardships. And you too can get a copy of the book. In fact, even participate in some of the mind games and exercises. Really encouraging. You can go to